On a really tough challenge here to put a biplane together in 10 hours.
With much to do, the Gearheads have chopped up everything in sight. Pieces of wood are piling up. And hot-headed Frank is baffled by the sight before him.
Hey, stop that saw and explain us what we're doing, because I have no idea.
Don't worry.
No, you gotta tell us so we can work.
Captain Milton goes over the design once again.
That piece of wood is to put supports here.
So we just glue that and staple it?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's it.
Wood glue and nails and...
Frank seems to have the gist, but there's no harm in double-checking.
What exactly are you working on here, or do you even know?
Yes, I do know.
Okay.
Well, me and Anthony, we just learned how this whole plane glider thing is going to work. Basically, what we're cutting, there's going to be the little reinforcement pieces that go up and down on the wings that create, what is it called, a hydrofoil?
Airfoil.
Airfoil.
What you're cutting is airfoil.
Water, I don't know, whatever.
Frank is cutting battens which they'll bend over the wing frames and cover with fabric. This creates an aerofoil shape which gives the wing its lift. Here's how. As wind hits the wing, it's split by the leading edge. Air that moves over the top has to go faster than air that goes underneath. This creates a lower pressure at the top, and the wing is literally sucked up. But if there's not enough suck, the plane will stall.
So how are things coming in Carpentry Corner?
Well, not so bad. If it was like wood shop in school, I'd give them an A+. They're doing a great job. They know how to cut wood.
They made good piles of sawdust.
Very nice piles of sawdust. Yeah, absolutely.
And confident with their plan, do you think?
Well, here's a good example of the confidence level over here. I go over to ask Frank. Frank, how's it going? I don't know. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even know what he's making. He was just grasping the concept as I was talking to him. Figuring, oh, we're building a biplane. Okay, I gotcha.
And then at the end, we're going to have a little screw eye, and we're going to thread that cable you brought in, and that's going to be the back of our wing. So this one sets this angle, and then that one.
Over at the Hicks household, Barnaby keeps an eye on the team's progress. They've built 2 massive wing frames. But the battle for control is still bubbling underneath.
Okay, it's important that it be one plane. You know, it'd be better if it's a single band, but if as long as
we're doing something that it's only going to take just for one day's use. It's not going to be something forever.
I understand that.
Okay, we'll build a cabinet now. Forget the plane. He likes the wood.
Okay.
Cabinet.
Let's build up. Let's build up.
Back in the chaos of the Red Camp, Frank is plotting an uprising of his own. He doesn't want to build a plane anymore.
So we should ask Kathy and Tyler. Maybe we could change. Instead of building a plane, why don't we just build like some furniture?
No, we can do that. Or greenhouses, because all you got to do is take the wings.
Well, we have a lot of wood. Why don't we build a campfire?
And you know who's going to win? You take it to the auction. The one who's giving you more money, then you win.
As long as they keep the termites away from us.
Wrong wing. What do you mean wrong wing?
You're on the wrong wing. We want to be over there.
Nah, I got not enough cable.
Well,
Fed up with the family feuding, the sisters have disappeared to the junkyard for a quiet, girly chat.
Both the guys at the build bay are crazy. They're having a hard time communicating with each other, and so they're having a hard time communicating with us.
Oh, are they? What are they disagreeing about?
Yeah. There's been a constant changes all along the line, which I think has been good for the design of the plane. But it's just been trying, is all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's okay.
So what can you do to kind of like get some team bonding back?
We're kind of taking turns being in the bay with them.
You just can't bear to be in there. You're just like, what can we scavenge?
It takes one of us to diffuse the situation.
Are they not? They're not quite seeing eye to eye, or are they having different ideas about design, or is it differences
I don't think
of
the
style?
other one knows what the other one's thinking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're on 2 totally separate communication levels.
There should be way more drawing and way less yapping.
Over the wall, the Gearheads are more concerned with cloth than conflict.
Wonderful.
They've bodged together their first wing frame. And with things taking shape, Chuck weighs up his options. But Missy, our judge, has a major concern.
Well, the Hicks family has a standard tarpaulin it looks like that they're going to use, and the Miami Gearheads also have a tarpaulin, but the Miami Gearheads design, which is the biplane design, is automatically a heavier design because it has that much more material involved. And so it would be better for the Miami Gearheads if they had a lighter type of fabric.
Aware of the problem, Chuck alerts the team.
Hey, Frank.
Yeah.
You know what I think?
Out here.
I think we're going to really need to go out and look for a little bit of lighter plastic.
Why, that stuff is not good?
Well, it'll be all right, but it's kind of on the heavy side.
Have you changed your mind on who you put your money on? Do you stick with the Hicks family, or do you come over to the Miami Gearheads?
Well, if I was a betting woman, and I am, I'd stick with the Hicks family.
Yeah.
They are so much further along than the Miami Gearheads that this is going to come down to a time race. The construction is going along fairly well for them, and even though their materials aren't ideal, I think that the Hicks family has really come together as a team as opposed to the Miami Gearheads.
Is that how many you needed?
So the Hicks family are still front runners.
I also picked up an escape hatch.
Oh, so what? An escape hatch.
Escape hatch, okay.
And as long as those sassy sisters keep the boys amused, it's domestic bliss at the Hicks.
That's too slack. We're going to have to snug that up a good bit.
Teams, this is your 5-hour time check. 5 hours.
With time against them, the Gearheads rip the yard apart in a last-ditch search for some lightweight fabric.
That's how you do it.
Will the magnificent men of the Miami Gearheads be able to turn their pile of sticks into a fabulous flying machine?
And will the Hicks family really be looking skyward with nothing but a few bits of aluminium and a bundle of tarp? Join us after the break.
Welcome back to Junkyard Wars, where our semifinalists are heading down the runway, but they've got a long way to go before they take off.
With most of the day gone, the Miami Gearheads have turned a mind-boggling muddle of wood into the skeleton of a biplane.
Are we having fun yet?
But they've got no lightweight fabric to skin it. The hunt continues.
Over at the Hicks,
Yeah, I know. Ain't got time to come check on Sam.
despite the leadership battle, they're forging ahead with their giant monoplane. Expert Barnaby's been running this family show, but Salty Sailor Sam is poised to regain command of the ship.
Drill the holes through this, put the bolt in it, take the chain hoist or the hoist down on that end, lift it up to hold that beam up at the right height you want. A lot of things to do.
His obedient daughters jump to attention. The keel beam goes into place and completes the cockpit. But Sam has spotted a design flaw, and he's fuming.
You're not happy with it?
No, you come up here and you move this piece right here, you sit down on it, and the whole thing just starts twisting. Say if you're going off on a takeoff, and this thing starts wobbling like this, what's it going to do?
Yeah, because, I mean, I'll sit on it again. I sat on it the first time, and yeah.
What if we braced it here and here, Dad?
It does wobble, and I'm thinking if I'm going down a hill, yeah, it's going to be hard to just balance it.
Sam's worried that when they launch their glider at a high speed and down a hill, the frame is so flimsy it'll wobble. The pilot won't be able to control the glider, and they could crash even before they take off. But strengthening the cockpit will add unwanted weight. So how are things in Hicks Family Centre?
Sam doesn't think that the frame is sturdy enough and it's going to hold the wings.
Oh, no.
And actually, I got a chance to sit in it, and I got to tell you, I just moved a little bit, and it wobbles all over the place. I'm actually with Sam on this. I don't think it's strong enough.
Out in the yard, Anthony makes a lucky find, which may just save the Gearheads bacon.
Ah, yes. Okay. That's it. I got it. That's better than what I built my first one on.
At last, they can skin their wings.
Hey, Chuck, what's the deal here? Where do I start?
Once Chuck works out which one is which.
Okay, this is the top left. Now, what's the one behind you now?
This is the top
is that
left.
A 13 foot?
This is the top left. You looking?
No, that's a bottom.
Fasten your seatbelts, teams. You have only 3 hours. 3 hours to finish your machines.
Frank!
Yeah.
3 hours, man! We have 3 hours!
We better get rolling.
I can't even spell my name in 3 hours.
We're working here like...
With the team starting to bond, it's time to glue. Ever optimistic, Chuck thinks he tastes victory.
Oh, man, this stuff tastes...
Over at the Hicks Ranch, they're working on the wings too.
This way.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? We got to get both wings and lay them down on this thing and see if we're going to make it.
Sam is still fussing about the floppy fuselage. And with Barnaby's back turned, it's the perfect opportunity to add a couple of braces to strengthen the cockpit.
They're really coming along. They are starting to cover the wings. They've got their fuselage, they've got the tail cut, ready to be mounted, and the same with the wings, the cockpit's made. So they're doing a little bit better job of multitasking than the Miami Gearheads.
The Miami Gearheads?
They're picking up the speed. It's impressive. They've really started to come together. I think they've got some of the finer points of the woodworking down, which I understand that the Miami Gearheads were typically, they have a lot more experience in machining.
So, who's your money on?
Well, I hate to just take the party line, and I'm so boring, but I'm still with the Hicks family.
The men from Miami are still underdogs, but the chaos has calmed and they're nipping at the Hicks' heels.
We have a rudder. Da, 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 da.
With their wings piling up, they've outgrown their shop, so they break for the border.
It's not in the way.
Outside, Fiery Frank's been quiet for a full hour and needs to let off some steam.
Too much. Down.
Anthony's nearest.
Hey, man, too much is not up or down.
If you're going up, when I say too much, it means go down. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. I'm dealing with an underachiever. Just kidding.
Over the other side, the name-calling is a little more, well, loving.
Have I ever told you how handsome you are, Dad? What a lucky, lucky girl I am.
Don't give me a hard time, Anna.
Even Barnaby's feeling the love.
You know, I know it must be advancing dehydration, but I am becoming guardedly optimistic we're going to pull this off.
He's so happy he makes himself some foot pedals.
Yeah, right, though.
These will control the tail surfaces, which Jakey's lovingly sewing together. So their control systems are almost complete.
Let's test it out, shall we? Yes, indeed. Oh, yes. Wonderful. I could fly across the country on this. In fact, I did. Right, we have a stick. We have controls. Okay, we've got to budge up some rudder pedals. As soon as we get the elevator mounted, we're going to take cables off of these two.
That's not going anywhere yet, is it? No.
No, that's my primary. That'll be my pitch control.
So that's down.
Down and up.
Down. Houses get bigger. Up. Houses get smaller.
Unless you do it too much this way, and then they get bigger fast.
Bigger backwards.
Yes.
The Hicks controls will be nice and simple. They'll have one lever that moves the elevator tail, which will allow them to take off and land. And they'll have two foot pedals, which make the rudder and the glider go left and right.
Over the wall, the biplane is still in bits. But with time marching on, they think about controlling their beast of burden.
And then two down, we'll put the pedals here.
Put the pedals here.
And that goes for the landing gear.
For the landing gear, come down to here.
Milton's conjured up a classy cockpit. Anthony's at the tail end of things. Like the Hicks, they'll use up, down, left, and right.
Is everybody happy?
It's all guns a-blazing in Bandito country.
But look at them. Because there have been tense moments on either side, I think, over the course of the day. But actually now, buoyant spirits. Uplifted almost.
Yeah.
Happy.
Are you a gearhead?
Yes.
Or are you one of those grasshoppers?
No.
Teams, it's the call you've been dreading all day. 1 hour. This is your 1 hour call.
Doing good. Keep jamming.
I'm asleep.
We have seen that already.
Yeah.
With time running out, the Gearheads are catching up with their burgeoning biplane.
This thing.
Well, the Miami Gearheads have really been industrious in the past few hours, and what I'm really liking about their design is their wing. Their wing is really nice and stiff. The battens that they've put in, the ribs, are keeping that wing nice and tight.
What about the Hicks family?
Well, because the Hicks family, the comparison is that their complete structure is almost finished, but their wings are really loose. The fabric is not on as tight as it could be. They don't have any battens or ribs in there to tighten it up. There could be a lot of turbulent air, a loss of lift under those wings.
The Hicks wings are very simple. Just a piece of fabric pulled over a large pole at the front, attached to wire at the back. They hope this will give them a nice aerofoil shape. But if the fabric isn't tight, their wings will go flappy, and their glider will drop like a lead balloon.
This is it. Last chance. Where do you put it? You go with the Hicks family or the Miami Gearheads?
I'm still leaning a little bit towards the Hicks family, but I think that if the Miami Gearheads continue to rally like they are, we could see a real competition tomorrow.
Okay, that's too vague. I need a definite. What's it going to be?
Well, I said I was leaning towards the Hicks family.
We're leaning? That means you're going with the Hicks family?
Do I get one more call on test day?
Maybe.
Right before they fly?
Maybe you might be able to walk out on the wedding. Who knows?
All right, I'm still going to go with the Hicks family, but I reserve the right to change my mind.
Absolutely.
Other wing coming through.
With the judge only just on their side, the Hicks turn their attention to their second wing.
I want a helmet!
Can you believe it? Teams, only 30 minutes! 30 minutes to finish!
Guys, please.
Sorry.
I'm trying to put the screw. If I put the screw, it's going to be 100%, so no move this junk.
That's it.
In the final furlong, the fellows from Florida